Hey, it's Parham from DocSites. I'm really excited to be talking with Rebecca Bolden from Practice by Numbers today. One of the amazing things about the dental nachos community is meeting people and connecting with them and learning about them and learning about the companies they work with and for, right? And Rebecca recently told me she's been in the dental world for 10 years.
Yep.
So I'll let you jump in and tell us your history and what we should know about you and your involvement with Practice by Numbers.
Awesome. Thanks, Param. Yeah. Um, it- I have met Param at several events. Like we're part of this dental not just community, but dental is small. And so happy to share with you guys a little bit about my history. So I don't come from the clinical side of dentistry. I come from the software side. So I've been in the dental software space for over a decade. I've worked for a couple different dental software companies who, handle things from marketing to patient communication to claims processing. And I landed at Practice by Numbers a little over 3 years ago. I saw the software and was just blown away by the depth of customization available and the fact that it was all connected. You know, there's certain things you don't necessarily want to connect, but having so many different modules or pieces all in one platform was really what sold it on me. And I absolutely love what I do here. I manage all of our partnerships. So I work with dentists, I work with consultants, I work with dental CPAs, I work with marketing companies, and really the gap between marketing to your patients and getting seats in the chair it is huge and it can be really costly if you aren't doing certain things to help follow up with those patients when those leads come in if you're not um, you know booking those patients immediately through online booking, if you're not sending them forms, if you're not helping to communicate with those patients, it's money essentially walking out the door. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about kind of that aspect of things with you.
Yeah, and that's why I think, our company, marketing companies as a whole, right? Website marketing companies, there has to be a connection with companies like yours and what you all do, right? Because at the end of the day, my opinion is, is that practices to grow can't just rely on the external, right? There has to be the connection to the internal. And that's what's amazing about you guys. I mean, the feedback that I've gotten is the analytics is unique, is special. I mean, the elements our clients use you, some of our clients use your product and they add like the booking online and it can segment who's booking and what. So, maybe you want to talk a little bit about some of the features that can help them, make their marketing a little bit stronger, right?
Yeah. And the one that you brought up, Param, online booking, it's something that, we're in 2026 now, y'all. You should have online booking. And I get the reasons why some offices don't want to offer online booking. Maybe they've used something in the past or they don't feel like it's customizable. They're worried about, too many patients booking appointments when they're not qualified, meaning they're, expecting to be able to use their insurance with that practice and that practice doesn't take the insurance. And we understand that. So one of the things Parm is like we were designed by a dentist, right? We are still co-owned by a dentist and we understand all those different nuances with online booking. We can customize who is able to book and for what. So if it's new patients that you want to be able to book online, great. If it's an existing patient, we can make sure that they get to the right selections. If it's somebody who maybe you're running a campaign right now with your marketing for Invisalign or for implant dentistry, great. Let's have a booking option in your online booking for that implant consult or for that Invisalign consult. Um, we
I
can,
love that. That's so
yeah.
crucial because now it's feeding into your system, right? So it's not just someone booking that and then you're hoping to find out what they booked it for, it's directly into your system and it takes one less level of tracking for your team, right?
Absolutely. And, you know, having a, if you're using any sort of online booking, having an online booking that will book directly in your practice management software, I think is really crucial. But um, kind of to follow up with it with the kind of another feature, so to speak, let's say that patient books their appointment, and they no show. Like if you're not communicating with those patients, if you're not following up and running campaigns, like you're losing out on these opportunities. There might have been some reason why that patient canceled or couldn't show up to their appointment. Don't lose out and just drop them aside. Like continue to follow up. They showed interest at some point. Um, that's money out the door if you're not following back up
That's
on
huge.
unscheduled
You
patients.
know, dentistry, I hate to say it, but it's not like when my wife goes to buy shoes online where she's just adding to cart, buying and waiting for it the next day. Dentistry is one of those things where you can go book the appointment a week later. You could get that cold feet. Like, I don't want the dentist to tell me what's under the hood or what if I have to do this or, something comes up. It's just the truth, right? Like, I
Yeah.
don't know the exact percentage, but there's got to be a nice chunk of people who don't want to come and they keep making the appointment but don't show up. And imagine if you have a program that does a proper follow-up, builds connection, builds trust. I always say if as long as your like waiting room is clean, your ops are clean, show that to people before they come in because it could be a different experience than they had the last time they went to the dentist, right? Your vibe, your
Absolutely.
energy has to be shown. And that's what's beautiful about the websites and marketing, right? If you do that right, you could attract more people, but the booking and the follow-ups is really what gets someone in the door and says, "Hey, I need a deep cleaning. Did so and so dentist propose this to me? I had such a good, trustworthy experience prior to my appointment. I'm gonna most likely say yes to these things, right?" And the way to build trust, and that's what it is. It's a trust game, you know?
Oh yeah.
And then another tool we talked about, I mean, you guys have such a robust
We do a
program,
lot.
right?
Yeah.
And what's cool about us is we're not like married to our own programs, right? So we're like, you want to work with practice by numbers, by all means, like go get everything they do and you want to add to the website, like let's add it. Let's get wild and crazy with it, right?
Yeah, the online booking, we
The
can
web
help
chat.
do the web
So
chat. So
tell
the
us about that. Like I love to hear more about that.
Yeah, so web chat's just really cool. It's a widget we can give you to give to your marketing company so they can put it on your website or, if you're managing your website yourself, you can add that to your website. But it's a way for somebody who visits your website to put in their information. They put in their name, their phone number, and they can put in a message. And then what happens is it texts the office. So if the
Okay.
office is open if it's during business hours, it'll text the office. The office can just message right back to you. And rather than that patient having to stay on that screen or stay in front of their computer, they'll just get a text back with that message back from the office. Now,
Love it.
if it's after hours, they'll get an automatic text back. Hey, we got your information. Our office is closed. Whatever verbiage the office wants, we'll get back in touch with you. But that way you've captured that person who visited your website. Maybe they visited that website at 10 o'clock at night, they put the kids to bed. They're like, oh gosh, I need to take care of booking an appointment for the dentist. They don't necessarily book right away with the online appointment booking. They can put a question in there. Office can get it that next morning and be able to capture that patient.
I love what you just said. The texting is so crucial. And one thing for me is I'm a millennial, right? So there's like a meme and a joke now out there saying, don't leave voicemails for us because I'm not listening to it. Text me, right?
Yeah.
That's like the meme. And it's true. And you got to also know who's going to slowly become your decision makers. And millennials are. We're the ones becoming parents. We're the ones now with the little bit more income, a little more established. So we're now leading the charge on the healthcare decisions. So
Yeah.
texting, like with my daughters, Pediatric offices, I do all texting pretty much. Texting to book appointments, texting to confirm follow-ups. And if I'm not getting a text, I kind of am like, you didn't do a good enough job following up, to be honest. So yes, there some people start saying, I don't want to text, but it's gonna become expected pretty soon, you know?
I mean, I have my ringer on silent always, right? So like,
Yeah,
and I don't know how many of you, especially if you're chair side, you're not going to have your ringer on. If someone texts you, you can instantly see it, know how to
yeah.
respond. We're just, yeah, texting has been the way of the future and will only continue to be more dominant.
Exactly. And one thing in marketing, so like I have a marketing certificate and I've done a lot of courses, 10 plus courses. And the biggest thing about marketing, the biggest value is follow-up, right? That's what we believe in. But in dentistry, it's not something that's like really like I don't know, it hasn't been captured fully. Like where when you talk to practice owners, it's not something that the conversation is big on. It's kind of secondary. It's more like how do I run ads? How do I do SEO? How do I do and then you kind of bring up, well, what's your follow-up, right? Because
Yeah.
if you're getting 30 new leads or 30 new inquiries, only a certain percentage in regular business, right? We always, in non-healthcare, we always like talk about this certain percentage is going to actually come through and be a buyer, right? So in dentistry, it's kind of like not talked about enough. So tell us what you guys do to help with that.
Yeah. So, when some easy ways to help. What we like to say is the back door, right? Like you have patients come in the front door, you don't want them to just walk out the back door. You don't want to be a revolving door because you're putting money, attention, time into getting new patients. Let's make them lifetime patients, right? Let's make sure you have good practices there in the office. You're pre-appointing those patients for their next hygiene appointment. But if they aren't being pre-appointed, let's get them onto a follow-up schedule. Most practice communication software is going to send out some sort of, recall reminders to your patients. But what about that patient that comes in, you recommend treatment, they say, "Hey doc, I got to think about it." What's your treatment follow-up process? Let's automate that for you too. Let's include, emails and text messages, but also reminders for your front desk team or treatment coordinator. Hey, reach out to Bob Jones because 2 weeks ago you recommended a crown and he didn't book. He said he needed to think about it. Like that process is great. Because now your new patients who come in, who you're spending marketing dollars on, it's not just for the value of that appointment, it's for
Right.
that treatment too. Like we want to increase their oral health overall, but also help increase that ROI from your marketing spend.
Right. And this is what the difference is in these like groups, right? We're all in these different communities and you'll hear some of the dentists saying like I got 100 new patient leads and I made this much ROI. And then you'll get a bunch of comments saying, well, I did the same thing and I didn't get it, right? And one of the things you and I first talked about with this whole follow-up is you mentioned crowns on this, but like Invisalign, right?
Oh, huge. Yeah.
Invisalign's a big cost for most people. The average person's making a certain amount, and Invisalign costs anywhere between 4 to 6 to 7K, right? I mean, uh,
My son's in doing 6 month Invisalign treatment right now, pretty minor, and it was like 5,000. So yeah.
exactly. So not everyone's gonna come into your office, do the scan, and then right away be like, "Hey, I'm ready to go. Here's my credit card, run it up, and all of this stuff, right? So like you guys can do segmented campaigns so they come in, they see the appointment, and the team can set up like a 12-month follow-up on Invisalign or something or clear aligners.
Whatever the office wants. So for clear liners, maybe, hey, you want to touch base with them every 2 to 3 months with education. You want to show them how easy it is, or
Yeah.
present a case study, or before and after photos, so that the next time they come in for their prophy, they're ready to say yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna hit this question because for our company, DocSites, customer service is crucial, right? So I do talk to my clients and they'll have a variety of tools, yours, competitors,
Yeah.
And a lot of them don't talk to you guys enough. Like they don't, I'm like, did you know they do this and that? And they're like, no, I haven't done a review since I bought it. And it's like 2 years later. So do you guys have like a group where they can come and ask questions, or can they call your office? How's your support set up?
Yeah, that's a great question, Param. So we have a couple of resources for all the offices. We have like an online learning center, so you can go in, you can take courses, or if you bring on new team members, they can go through different courses. Um, we also host webinars pretty regularly that are very focused around different features, and those webinars are all
Love it.
recorded. All the recorded webinars are in that learning center, so you can kind of go in and learn at your own pace. But all our support is based here in the United States. Super easy for somebody to get in touch with someone via chat, which is text, texting, um, or they can call us, or they're welcome to send over an
So
email.
someone watches this and they're like, you know what? I love the campaigns. I'm gonna do heavy marketing next year. I want to get into the campaigns with Invisalign, implants, all the big treatments. I'm gonna take on the tool. You guys will help show them here's where you go to set it up, and then they could take it on the rest, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We can show them how to create custom campaigns, how to do exactly what they need help with.
I love that. I love that. And I hope we get to collab more because you have a very robust tool. We have very, mutual happy clients. I want to wrap it up by just saying, do a demo, always do a demo, come with a list of questions and anything you want to share to f finish it off.
We're really happy to be part of this Dental Nacho community, and we have some great deals for y'all. So, I'll post something in the comments when we push this out with just our link. But I'm actively in this group, so if you need anything, feel free to reach out to me.
Same here with us, with doc sites. We always have an amazing deal. And one of the things that I'd love to do is if anyone watches this and is like, hey, I like both of your stuff, and they want to ask me questions and then come back to you guys, like, how can
Yeah.
we leverage both? Like, that would be fun to do because I do think, for a dental practice to see 2026 become their best year, they definitely have to leverage all of our tools and the best of our knowledge to make it happen. So, thank you for your time, and I'm excited to continue a great 2026 or start a 2026.
It's going to be a great year. So, thanks for collaborating with me, and as always, lovely to talk with you, Param.
Thank you.